On the third day of second grade, she sat in her desk waiting for calendar to start. The boy who was assigned to sit behind her cloaked his chubby fists with her mousy strands and tugged until they were torn from her scalp. Her teacher told her that boys will be boys as if the phrase had been rehearsed on every little girl that had her hair pulled. She told her, "He must think she's cute." He bashed the back of her chair, slipped his foot through the square hole, and left footprints on her new jacket as if it were the welcome mat on his front porch. He pushed her down the tallest slide. At recess, she fell like a first-year diving student, then picked pieces of wood chips from bloodied scrapes on her knees. He threw fistfuls of grass and dirt and rocks as if he were trying to stone her. She had brown smeared on her cheeks and purple blossoming on her body. He drilled slime in her water bottle when she wasn't aware and left his browning apple cores in her desk. But boys will be boys. In middle school, the boy who sat 3 desks behind her toppled her in the hallway, thumped her books out of her hands, and shot spitballs at the back of her head. She had hopes that when he caught her before school and told her how pretty she was, maybe he really liked her. But his laughs told her otherwise, because at lunch the school's lukewarm cheese and broccoli soup special was drained down her back. He pushed her into the lockers, more bruises bloomed to match those from second grade. She wore sweaters with long sleeves so nobody could see the gardens growing on her forearms, seeds planted there by his fingers. But boys will be boys. In high school, the first boyfriend she had slipped comments in about her hair, how it was just the wrong shade of brown. He didn't like it straight, it made her look lazy. He jerked at the new knitted sweater she wore, "It makes you look fat." Whatever she wore was either too baggy or too tight. He teased her about her weight, how her stomach bulged over top of her waistband. He taunted her in front of his friends. She accepted that he was just trying to show off. But boys will be boys. After 3 years of marriage, they sit at the dining room table. He sits at the head. She sits at the foot. They are not equals. His chair is pushed slightly away from the table. The cold of his wine glass sits gently in his palm. He is swirling the almost empty drink around in the cup. She sits straight back in her chair, elbows off the table. Her wine glass hasn't been filled. The room is silent. Her hands quiver and she reaches for the wine bottle. She slowly pours the drink into her wine glass she doesn't dare spill. She reaches for the drink she poured for herself. He places his fork down a little too forcefully. She retracts her hand back immediately, knocking the glass over, spilling the dark luxury into the white tablecloth. The drink seeps through the fabric, a burgundy puddle in the middle of purity. She closes her eyes for a brief second, swallows, then opens to find him staring through her. She watches him squeeze his back teeth together, then release, then repeat. She can see the vein that pulses against his temple with every clench of his jaw. He stands up from his chair and walks the length of the table. Miles stretch before him. He stands above her and reaches his hand out for her now empty wine glass. She is waiting. He holds the cold bottom in his palm. His arm is still. She is waiting. He is silent. She is waiting. She is waiting. She is waiting for a moment that hasn't come in a week. It must be due, so she is waiting. He places the glass down a little too forcefully. He raises his hand, staring through her with a face as empty as her spilled wine glass. She was waiting. But boys will be boys.